Beep boop boop beep beep bop. It's time for the Constitutionals. Chad rocks. Hey, this is welcome back to the Constitutionals. I'm yours, Chad White. That was our theme song submitted to us this week by me, the host, Chad White. All right, let's get right into it. Let's hop right into today's topic. Not today's topic, into me today. This past weekend, I just watched one of my favorite young actresses / singers. Her name is Haley Steinfeld with Woody Harrelson and Haley Lou Richardson. I think it's her name. Haley Lou Richardson. Anyway, in The Edge of 17, I thought it was a fine movie. I enjoyed it a lot. I will buy it. Yeah, Haley Lou Richardson. I will buy it. It's a great film. It truly was The Edge of 17. Yeah, young coming of age comedy drama. Written and directed by Kelly Freeman. She only has one E in her name. She did a really fantastic job. She also wrote Postgrad. Good for her, but I enjoyed the movie. It was very good. Probably one of the better movies of 2016. And 2016 was full of all right movies. Pretty decent movies. Kelly Freeman Craig is her name. Anyway, it's a great film. Moving on to whatever else is happening in my life. Really nothing much. Just waiting on stuff to get answers to. Oh, let me, Seeso. I want to talk about Seeso. Seeso is a streaming service that was created by NBC, kind of like CBS All Access. They're the same price, $4, and you get to watch all this comedy stuff. You get to watch stalwarts. You get to watch pillars, NBC comedy pillars, like I don't think the original Office is on there. I mean, the American Office is on there. But Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, SNL. All of SNL ever, which is worth the $4 for me because I watch a crap ton of SNL. A lot of it's edited, and I don't appreciate that, but whatever. And you get to watch new things, new shows from very funny people, like Kulap Vilaysack. She has a show on there she created and writes and executive produces called Bajillion Dollar Properties, starring Mandel Munn, Tim Baltz. I'm just going to go through all the names. Ty Newsome, Ryan Gall, Drew Tarver, Paul F. Tompkins. Am I forgetting anybody? No. And they're all very funny people. Tim Baltz has another show called Shrink. Let me describe Bajillion Dollar Properties. Bajillion is about, it's a parody on those listing shows, and it's just really weird and out there. It's like Reno 911, but for listing shows, and that's exactly the perfect way to describe it. So imagine all these different characters. Actually, Tom Lennon and Robert Ben Garant are on that show too. So there you go. Bajillion Dollar Properties. It's cyclical. Cyclical is what I was going to say before. Bajillion Dollar Properties is fantastic. It's got so many different people on it. Kulop's husband, Scott Aukerman, produces it too. He appears sometimes. Adam Scott Nay Cordero is on there too. It's actually the third season is starting up in June. I want to say the second week in June. I don't know. It's not my job to promote these things. Maybe, yeah, second week of June, probably like that. Anyways, coming back, but there's 18 episodes you can watch right now. Go to Seeso, spend the $4. That show is worth it. And then there's also Shrink, starring Tim Baltz. He created and co-writes and stars in it. It's about a recent graduate. He was a grad student. Now he's a graduate of a grad student. So he's a grad. And it's about a recent graduate who wants to be a therapist, but he has to do 1,700 hours of, I don't know, I think it's 1,500, 1,700 hours of unpaid therapy. So he has to perform them. And all these different people come in. They're all different characters. A lot of them are recurring characters throughout the episodes. And then he falls in love with one of his patients, and he also gets involved in one of the other patient's lies because that patient's lying to him about beating his eating disorder. Dan Ahoot. I'm missing Dan Ahoot from Bajillion Dollar Properties. That's who I was. It all happens at once, guys. It just all happens at once. And let's see. And it takes place in Chicago, of course. He lives with his mom and his stepdad and I think stepbrother, but yeah, stepbrother, uh, because he's a graduate. He has no money. He works part-time overnight stocking at a local grocery store with one of his best friends. He recently had a bad relationship, got out of that, and we'll see what happens with that, because I was just about to spoil it for you. But it's a very funny show. It's very sad too. You should also watch it. It feels like something that would be at home on FX, but again, it's on Seeso. And then we also have, that's not a negative thing, that's a great thing. We also have Hidden America with Jonah Ray, which I got done watching episode 3 of season 2. That season 2 just started back up. All episodes are available for streaming, of course. That's a fantastic show. Jonah Ray's he's hilarious. He's a very funny guy. I don't know why I paused when I said that. He's a very funny guy, very hilarious man. You might know him from the Nerdist podcast and his podcast, Jonah Radio. He's a very big advocate for Ray Donovan on Showtime. I think he was campaigning to be on the show at one point. But it's a take on travel shows like Anthony Bourdain or it's like a mix of, it's called Hidden America. So he's going to see different places in America. He went to Boston, Atlanta, Washington DC, and he's eating food, doing different experiences. But all the people that are featured in the show are just comedians playing characters. So Yvette Nicole Brown, Jan Varney, and David Koechner, and just a whole bunch of, Will Wheaton was in the last episode I watched. He's in the DC episode. Very funny. And then in season 2 there's a story arc for the season where people think he killed a guy that's kind of like Guy Fieri. Is played by Mike Mitchell. And his name is Duffy or Duffman or Duffy or something like that. Not Duffman. That's a Simpsons character. His name is Duffy, and he died in the off season in some type of horrible, horrific fashion. And the entire season of Hidden America season 2 is about Jonah avoiding people telling him that he killed him, and he thinks he saw him in the second episode at a book signing. But it's funny. It's a very funny show. You should also watch that. Seeso has a lot to offer, but what I wrote about, and the reason I bring up Seeso is I wrote about this on the website, cpluscomedy.com, last week, and in an article that's called NBC's Path for Successful Seeso, in which I explained what Seeso was, because not a lot of people know about it, because even a lot of the stars make fun of Seeso, not in a mean way, kind of like how the Simpsons make fun of Fox, but or 30 Rock makes fun of NBC, but a lot of the stars make fun of Seeso because no one knows what Seeso is. And what is Seeso? Seeso is NBC Universal's, I'm going to read exactly the first sentence that I wrote. It's NBC Universal's comedy streaming service that's for comedy nerds and lightweight fans alike. So it's got all that. It's got all the stuff I told you about, plus movies, plus things from Monty Python, all the old stuff like the old show, plus new British series like a show called Flowers, which is pretty good. I enjoyed watching it. I didn't finish it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't finish all of it. Well, I never finish shows anymore. And then you can get it pretty much anywhere. You can get Seeso on Amazon, and that is how I do it, because it's easier to do it that way, because the Seeso app, quite frankly, sucks. It's not good. Then you got a show from Wyatt Cenac. You got a show from Dan Harmon. You got all types of, you got the Cyanide and Happiness show. You got the UCB show, which is why I keep forgetting that one. I keep telling people that the UCB show it's just recordings of UCB's sets and everything. It's not just that. I mean, they set it up. They see which ones should go on the television first. But you got 2 seasons of that. You got Before the Morning After. You got stand-up specials from Cameron Esposito, Doug Stanhope, Big J. Okerson, Rory Scovel. Matt Besser's got a stand-up. He's on here 1,000 times, of course. You've got Joey Diaz, Ashir Zameda. You got so many people. Janine Garofalo, Brian Posehn, Jenny Friedman, Aries. I don't know. I'm not gonna say Aries Spears. Lachlan Patterson. I interviewed him. I interviewed Jenny Friedman as well. Adam Newman, Bo Mandel. You got so many funny people on here. Then you got this British stuff. The snuff box, the IT crowd, the id crowd, if you want to say it like that, but that's the way it's supposed. I don't know. Alan Partridge. So many good shows. So many good movies. Pistol Shrimps documentary. Life of Brian. They had Brazil on here. I did not watch it. I meant to, but whatever. It's gone now. And no one knows about it because NBC is not doing a thing to promote it. And they really, really should. When you have CBS All Access, I don't watch CBS. I only watch it for Life in Pieces because that's the best show on that network. It's so non-consequential, but I also enjoy it a lot. Inconsequential is the word I was probably going to say. But but they're not doing anything. They're not doing a freaking thing to promote it. CBS, they promote All Access through commercials. You see online things about it. It says CBS All Access. Watch everything that CBS has to offer, plus old stuff. $4 a month. There you go. They make it available on everything. Seeso, on the other hand, either some things have the app, some things don't. I don't know if Xbox has the app. I think they do. I think Xbox does that. My Xbox heard me. I don't know if PS4 has the app. Probably not. iPhone has the app. Androids have the app. But the website, garbage. They updated it once. It looks nice, kind of. You have to get it, but you get it through Amazon now. I mean, I do. And then the sound is horrible through Amazon channels for some reason. I don't know what's going on there, but apparently that's not going to be fixed. I made a video about Seeso a long time ago called Seeso and the I don't know what it's called. Seeso and the Majesty of Alternative Comedy. And I just talked about Seeso and what it has to offer. But now I had to write this thing. I didn't have to. I wanted to, because they're not doing anything. I mean, what should they do? NBC, I'm gonna offer you. This is free stuff. And I know you didn't read my article because I tweeted at Seeso twice. They didn't see it 3 times because I tweeted from my personal account too. I'm very fired up about this because they're not doing anything for these very funny people. I want to see Paul F. Tompkins on Conan. I want to see advertising, guys. I want you to start putting this stuff out. I watch Conan a lot. I want to, instead of seeing Kunal Nair and Johnny Galecki and the boy who plays Sheldon and the one who plays Amy. And I know these characters because these are only people on Big Bang Theory. They always go to Conan because they're on the same lot. Just get Drew Tarver on there. Get Tawny Newsome, Mandel Mon. Second, all I have to do is be the second person. They don't have to be the leading guest. Get them on there. Get them that $400 for that night to be on Conan. Fly them to New York. Let them be on the late night. They're not going to be on the Tonight Show. I know you won't do that, NBC. But let them be on late night with Seth Meyers. Let Mandel Mon have a conversation with Seth Meyers. Let Tim Baltz go on the Late Late Show with James Corden. Let Kulop go on Jimmy Kimmel. Just saying. Come on, advertising. It's worth the. And the reason I'm doing all this is because Seeso lost its president or head or whatever, Evan Shapiro, 3 weeks ago at this point, because I wrote it last week. And he left 2 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago at this point. And if you lose somebody, and now somebody from, her name is Maggie something. This Maggie lady is now in charge, but she's from NBC Universal. And this is who Evan was reporting to. And now if she doesn't see any use in Seeso, she could just shut it all down. And then these people will be out of jobs. And Jonah will only have Mystery Science Theater. Everybody else will have just bits here and there, UCB shows and stuff and podcasts. But nobody wants to just live off a podcast. They're not Joe Rogan or Adam Carolla. That's not calling them out. I respect those guys for doing what they do. Get them on Today's Show. NBC, you have so many shows. What other afternoon, or morning shows do you guys have? Get them on the 10 a.m. hour of the Today Show with Hoda and Kathy Lee. You know why? Because they're not doing anything but drinking some freaking wine. That's all they're doing at 10 a.m. in the morning in New York. Fly Tim Baltz and Ryan Gall up there to just have fun and sit there and sip wine with those ladies for 20 minutes and then push them out of the studio. That's all I'm saying. Have Jonah Ray hang out with Seth Meyers for a 7-minute interview segment in the last third of Late Night. That's it. Jesus. And then we got a show from Paul Reiser called There's Ellipses Johnny. That's starring Jane Levy and some other people. It's because I have a huge crush on Jane Levy. Oh my God. Beautiful redhead. That's on tape forever. And you would think that the guy, the one host who put Late Night on the map for NBC would, in fact, his show would be promoted. I'm talking about Johnny Carson, not Paul Reiser. He's done a lot of things for everybody. Make it available overseas. Let people watch Seeso overseas. Apparently, it's still not a thing. It's been out of beta for a long time. It's been available for American audiences. I don't even think Canada gets it. Define leadership. Just put somebody in charge. That's not from NBC Universal. Dude, let me do it. I'll do it for $50,000 a year. Shoot, I'll take any job at this point. And Take My Wife is another show I forgot to mention. I love Take My Wife, starring Cameron Esposito and her, I think, current wife, Rhea Butcher. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about today. But I went on a tangent for about 16 minutes. And it makes me so mad. Just promote it. I'm over here promoting it. And C Plus Comedy only has 135 Twitter followers. And most of those are the young comedians I interviewed who don't even have that many followers themselves. Jeez Louise. NBC, I shouldn't be doing your job for you. ABC has ABCD, the digit ABCD, and they don't even charge for that. And yet I still know more about ABCD, ABC Digital. I still know more about it than I know Seeso. I interviewed what is her name? Oh God, I can't remember her name. She's one of the funniest people that was on Comedy Bang Bang last year. Beep boop boop. I'm gonna find it. This is very embarrassing. Jessica McKenna. Because she hasn't been on CBB recently, so she's not in my mind. Jessica McKenna, she has an ABCD show. I interviewed her. I still know more about ABCD than I do Seeso. I don't get what the issue is. Guys, go watch Seeso shows. Subscribe at least for 1 month, and then just I'm not an advocate for binging. I hate that word, but just watch Shrink, Bajillion Dollar Properties, Take My Wife, Hidden America, and oh God, there's so many shows, so many good shows. The Night Shift. Watch all the SNL you can, and Flowers is good. Cyanide and Happiness, Harmon Quest. Go watch everything. My Brother and Me. It's a fine show. Faulty Towers reruns. The Mighty Boosh reruns. Go watch these things. Tell them that you want to see it. Because obviously they don't. I'm fired up, guys. I'm angry. I also want to talk about Animals. Animals is also a great show that I know is not getting as many views as it needs to get. But HBO renewed it for a 3rd season. And guys, I'm not saying I did anything to promote it like that. But on May 16th, my Xbox moved or something. On May 16th, I did write an essay titled Animals is Mumblecore Comedy at its Finest. I tweeted it to Phil and Mike, who created that show. They favorited it. They didn't retweet it. Not like Tim Baltz retweeting my review of Shrink Season 1, but they favorited it. And I watched this interview with Phil and Mike that had just come out. Posted it within the body of this essay. And then I think a day later, HBO, I got an email from Deadline saying HBO renewed Animals for a 3rd season. I got a press release from HBO directly because I'm subscribed to that. But I got a press release from HBO directly that said Animals renewed for a 3rd season. Guys, I did that. I'm not saying I did that, but I did that. HBO saw it because I included them in the tweet. They said, yeah, it is a very funny show. It's on Friday nights at 11:30. Just ended the 2nd season. That was tremendous. Oh my God. This season they had an episode about humans that was live action. So funny. Nobody's watching it. And it's only getting a handful of viewers. Imagine The Big Bang Theory regularly gets probably 12 million, which is nothing to balk at now, but in the past that would be crap because there were only 3 channels in the past. People would get 90 million views or whatever. And then let's say the middle averages around 8 on ABC. Let's say I don't know what the Mick got. The Mick on that show, that channel, Fox. The Mick on Fox. Let's say those episodes got around 2.5 million. 2.5 million. And that show still was picked up for a second season. And now, Animals, their episodes get around 200,000, 300,000. 300, around 300,000 is the highest I've seen. And it still got picked up because it's a funny, unique show that and what Animals is, it's a cartoon that's shoddily made. Don't imagine Adventure Time. Imagine Dr. Katz or Home Movies, but a step lower than that. And everybody kind of moves. And there's all about animals. Humans don't talk until the live action Humans episode. And funny people like Claudio Doherty, Katie Aselton, the Duplass brothers who produce it, who help these guys, Phil and Mike, make the show. Sean Wayans, Big Sean for some reason, hilarious. Jessica St. Clair, Lennon Parham, Jake and Amir. Just so funny. Oh my God, the show is so good. Just watch it. I enjoy it a lot. Well, looks like I tore through 2 topics that I did not mean to talk about. I wanted to talk about Larry Sanders, I think. I don't know. I'm watching Larry Sanders. So anyway, thank you for listening to The Constitutionals. I'm very mad about Seeso. NBC, get out there and promote the gosh darn thing. Try not to curse. Promote the gosh darn thing, man. Just do it. It's not that hard. Okay, speaking of promotion, you can, if you want to hear more of this stuff, you can listen to more of The Constitutionals on cpluscomedy.com, where you can get the latest news, reviews, features, interviews, other good comedy bits that only I can provide you with. You can also follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy to get the updates on all that crap from the website. You can go to my Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/cpluscomedy. You have to spell it out, Plus, with all this stuff. And then also YouTube, youtube.com/cpluscomedy to get our premiere show, News Time. This week's episode is about high concept TV shows. High concept shows are shows that can be described in one sentence. They have a simple A to B plot. It's Jurassic Park is high concept. And what's it about? What if, and high concepts use the question, what if, to pose basically the entire story. What if dinosaurs were still around and we put them in a theme park? High concept, Jurassic Park. Boom. There you go. So go to youtube.com/cpluscomedy to watch that episode. It's a very good episode, I thought. Yeah, there you go. All right. Thank you for listening. I very much appreciate you. Thanks. Bye.